What is going on, guys? We are back with another video today in our Los Angeles Rams online user franchise, and today we are looking at the stats and awards, and ironically enough, I actually forgot to do this when I was supposed to, which is literally like right at the wildcard round, and instead the season's actually over. Who won the Super Bowl? Did we go all the way? Did we not go all the way? Who knows? You'll have to find out. You'll have to tune in. But these are the standings for the season. Obviously, I don't really know if you care, but this is how the league turned out. 9-7 was the lowest. You had a couple of people in 9-7 making the playoffs. Lowest playoff contender. And then the Saints would believe with back-to-back pick number ones. We now, of course, move on to the, what is it called? Stats portion, the one that matters the most, I suppose. Gregory Scott kind of got cucked a little bit. We had that Week 17 sim game that we didn't get to play, as you guys could probably tell, because it went straight to stats and awards after Week 16. But he ended up getting 2 touchdowns. He needed at least 2 touchdowns to tie for 4th, which I don't know. Is the game going to consider that 5th, or are they going to consider both guys a 4th? I don't know. For mine, it says 4th in passing touchdowns, which I think is the exact threshold you need to get to Superstar. Would be such an L if we don't get it. We also didn't get to play Week 1 with Scott because of a suspension issue. But Scott's season, 4,200 yards, just 1 touchdown shy of 40 touchdowns, which kind of sucks on its own. 23 interceptions, 3 of those were in sim. Passing completion percentage we're not going to talk about. 101.8 passer rating. And, he's played the first game, but that was because of a kneel down, I believe. Cam Akers, 162 carries, 1,189 yards rushing with 12 rushing touchdowns. As far as Turner goes, 411 yards per carry. Wasn't great, but he didn't get his ability until, after the season was literally over. Nothing in the playoffs or anything like that. He didn't get the downs. I think we entered the playoffs with 330 downs played? So yeah, not even 330. It was 300 downs or something. He doesn't really get that much play time. Maybe gets 6 or 7 snaps a game, sometimes less, obviously sometimes more, but that's usually kick return stuff. 5 rushing touchdowns, 1 Scott rushing touchdown. Receiving, Howard had a really good year. Once I think I mentioned it. Was it 4 next episode? I can't remember that far back. I usually leave this a bit late, but I think we mentioned that Howard, I believe, is on par to be Superstar. Finally, he has the most catches for tight ends, most touchdowns, or most yards for tight ends as well. So if he doesn't get it here, I'm not going to say I give up, because I give up on getting Superstar, but I always love Howard. As long as he's good and plays well, he's always going to get the ball, no matter how much development chance he has. Underwood, 1257, 64 receptions, 14 touchdowns. Could and should potentially go to Superstar. I believe he was a Pro Bowler as well. Byers, he had his hot streaks, had his cold streaks, and then Rambo, we of course always cuck. Don't worry about that. O-line, Falele, not bad. I mean, offensive line played pretty well. We usually hold on to the ball a little bit too long at times. 70 tackles for Boss, who kind of stole Bowman's, starting job this season. Not even on, he was playing really well. It's just we accidentally did it. OA with 12 sacks, 11 for Donald, 9.5 for Jones, 8.5 for Ibucam. That's not bad, right? That's not bad at all. Pick totals, 8 for Jackson, 7 for Burgess, 6 for Rapp and Griffin, the safeties. Boss and Mathis with 4. Same with Ramsey and Bowman. Ibucam, believe it or not, with 2. David Long and 1 for Tracy James. I think deflections are also one that counts for DB DevUps. I don't really care too much, though. Forced fumble, 6 for Chris Jones, the big man himself. As far as fumble recoveries go, actually had a decent bit of fumble recoveries, too. Blocks, I think a lot of those were in, one game, though. Was it against Sam and his Seahawks? I can't remember. We had a decent bit of touchdowns this season. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 defensive touchdowns. That's got to be, I wouldn't say some record, but that's got to be one of the top-tier defensive touchdowns numbers in the league, right? It's got to be. Kick return yardage. Turner had more kick return yards, and hell, probably more downs played in kick returns and special team stuff than as a running back, for the most part, a lot of them at least. But yeah, those are the numbers there. Obviously, let's take a look at the entire league real quick. So for the yards, Mr. Curry Duckworth of the Niners. This is the guy we actually tied with, our division rival. Nuke trying to cuck me here. Yards, you can see here, these are the numbers. Had a decent bit of guys over 4,000. Burrow with the touchdown theft at the end in a meaningless game. Just saying. Just saying, 5 touchdowns. I'm just saying. That's all I'm going to say. Nick Rose. Did he ever get past normal? Jeez, that's rough. So much potential. Jeez. But that, those are pretty much that. Let's take a look at the passing touchdowns. Shady, who was benched a lot, quite a bit, still ended up with the most touchdowns. Love with number 2, Burrow with number 3. And then this is what kind of scares me a little bit, is that maybe it goes by yards. I don't know, but our guy is 5th, even though he tied for 4th. So that worries me a little bit. However, I think I have one time before, like when I was refreshing this, like it actually showed us higher than him. So I don't know. May have gotten cucked, though. We may have gotten cucked, which would really suck. But if he gets a superstar, then, drafting a rookie quarterback and trading Goff would definitely have been worth it in the end. As far as completion percentage goes, who had the highest percentage of eligible guys? Herbert at 67%, Baker at 67%. Who had the best passer rating? I would say the completion percentage usually goes hand in hand. And no, actually, it doesn't go hand in hand. A little surprised by that. Scott was actually up there for passer rating. Longest pass of the season goes to Herbert with a 95. The most sacked was Josh Allen with 52. I mean, I kind of remember that game that we had. As far as yardage goes, Aaron Jones had the number 1 with that sim game, though. Akers looking pretty baller with 1189. Yards per carry wise, the number 1 player in the league was, those are quarterbacks, doesn't really count too much. McFarland, who had a low, kind of a down season. I don't know if he got injured. It's 11 games played. It looks like he may have. That injury finally caught up to him. Eckler with 20 rushing touchdowns. That's interesting. Receiving, Godwin with 1570 for yards, 12 touchdowns. Metcalf 15 touchdowns, 1558. Ruggs 1529, 19 touchdowns. Tyreek Hill. Some really good seasons for these receivers. Howard did really well. What else do we have here? Underwood 1257 with 14 touchdowns. Most touchdowns in general. Terry McLaurin, Henry Ruggs. See, we don't have a guy like that. Like, Howard's really good, but we don't have a guy that's just OP as hell. Is just going to just burn like that. But there's that. Who had the lowest? Like, who was the closest to not? Like, we had a lot of 1,000-yard receivers. Were anyone close and didn't get it? Thad Moss at 1,000 exactly. Mims 1 away. Interesting stuff. As far as touchdowns, like we said, is there anyone that was like 9 touchdowns? Bunch of 10s. Matthews, that could be, I don't think it matters for deving up. Offensive line. Most sacks allowed, Isaiah Wynn. Interesting. There's not really much more to look at after that. A couple of guys with 100. Not a lot, though. Sack totals, of course, this isn't always going to show up. Like our guys, we had a 12 and an 11. I don't see our 11, so it might glitch out sometimes and not show guys. I'm not sure why that happens, but as far as like a broad paintbrush stroke, someone had a stroke. Those are the numbers. Lots and lots of picks in the league. Chin with 18. I don't know if that's like smashing the record or not. I can't really remember looking at the records too much for picks. Pass deflections, 26 for Jair. Absolutely nuts stuff. With the most forced fumbles, Bobby Chancellor. Our guys actually were pretty close too. We had 4 with Chris Jones. Defensive touchdowns, he had the most. 4 for Byard, 4 for Paris Ford. Some interesting numbers to say the least. Tucker McCann had the most field goals made. Of course, not the, the most attempted as well? Tied with Young Ho Koo. The highest percentage, it's hard to tell because obviously there's going to be ones that are longer, ones that are shorter. There's less attempted. On the surface, Jason Myers looks like he was the best. I can't really tell, though. There's a lot of people with pretty good percentages. Punting, yards per punt. The best one was Morstead, 51.8. Where's our boy? Where is he? Hecker at 47.6. Is he? How good is he? 89 overall still. Okay, interesting. Kick return yardage. Okay, a couple guys over 1,000. Only 1 kick return touchdown in the entire league. And then Agnew also had the punt return touchdown. Slade Bolden with 1. Now it's time to go to the yearly awards. Who won MVP? It was Jalen Hurts. Believe it or not, Gregory Scott all the way up to number 2. If we got some more rushing touchdowns and stuff in there, you never know. That would have been completely nuts. That's what the MVP list looked like. Let's go to the AFC side first. See, Eckler won Offensive Player of the Year for the AFC side. Defensive Player of the Year went to Mr. Minkah Fitzpatrick. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Grant Johnson. 3-13 team, though. Defensive Rookie of the Year, 2-14, Alex Moore. Looking at best quarterback, Joe Burrow gets it. Hurts gets snubbed, apparently, there. Deshaun Watson with number 3. I guess I'll show all of them if you guys want to see it. Pause it if you want to. Number 1 running back, Austin Eckler. The running backs in the AFC side kind of seem a little weak, no? If McFarland only missed 5 games and only had like 800 yards, got 3rd, it seems a little weak. Tyreek Hill at number 2. Ruggs, number 1 wide receiver. O-line, these are the offensive linemen. Defensive linemen, Lawson at 1. Garrett at 2. A lot of Bengals and Browns guys in there. Dante Fowler, best linebacker at an 83 overall. That's interesting. DB, Defensive Player of the Year as well. Minkah Fitzpatrick. And then Kicker of the Year, Josh Lambo. For the NFC side, Offensive Player of the Year, Jace McClellan. He was using him a lot this season. You guys probably seen that earlier when we played him. Well, not even earlier, but recently enough when we played him. Gregory Scott at number 2. Akers at number 3. Defensive Player of the Year, Rod Johnson. Mr. Roderick. Oh, how interesting. Offensive Rookie of the Year, obviously Gregory Scott, no shot about it. I don't know what that's supposed to mean here. Zach Jones, some other guys in there. Defensive Rookie of the Year, not our guy. I don't even remember who we had as if we even had a rookie playing. Gregory Scott did make the Pro Bowl as the number 3 spot. Looking at running back, Akers at number 2. And that seems to be that for running backs. Wide receivers, I don't remember if Underwood made the Pro Bowl. I think there's 5 that make the Pro Bowl. I can't remember or not. And then O-line, Linder, the best lineman. That's a little surprising. Okay. Interesting to say the least. He had a lot of Pro Bowlers on the offensive lineman spots. Defensive line, Aaron Donald made it number 6. Best linebacker, number 9 for OA. DB on the list, number 10 for Josh Jackson, barely making the list. McCann at number 3. And that is the stats and awards. Of course, like I said, we waited a bit long for this one, so our upgrade points have been used already, so you'll have to wait and see on that one. Anyways, though, that is it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed, and hopefully you're excited for the playoffs, because it's going to be a fun one and a very interesting one, to say the least. So definitely stay tuned for all the vids. The only vid? Who knows? Hey, is it 3 vids? Is it, wait, how many? Wildcard, divisional, champion. So is it 4 vids? Is it 3? Is it 2? Is it 1? Did I miss the playoffs on a technicality? Maybe eliminated? I don't know, dude. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the season, you're ready for the playoffs, maybe leave a like, subscribe if you're new, follow me on Twitter at Jeromepkr. And yeah, that's about it. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys come back for next video. But until next video, see ya!